podcasts are strictly of the host and its guests. Viewers' discretion is advised. All right, ladies and gentlemen, good evening, good evening, good evening, and welcome to Tyrieak's Live. Woo, woo, woo! And tonight is a very special night, ladies and gentlemen, because I have with me the cast of Poz Lyfe. They are here with me. Let me welcome Miss
That's fine.
Amira Taylor, and we're gonna welcome Mr. Donnell Roberson, who played Khalil. And shortly we'll be joined by Miss Sabrina Blue, who could not be with us on tonight, but she is tuning in from New York City. Okay? Yes, New York City. So the first thing we're going to do tonight, I don't know if, yeah, I know, shut up. I don't know if I told you guys, but I think I shared with a lot of people that I am now in the process of partnering with someone who makes alcohol-based desserts, dessert syrups, and they actually make alcoholic beverages with pure fruit and some other things. So what we're going to do tonight is do a live tasting of those products first, and then we'll get into the interview. So I have deemed this name Ty's Tasty Treats. Yeah, and they're pretty good. So I want you guys to get the yellow one first. We do have a little studio audience as well. So this yellow one is mango and pineapple tequila, and it's a parfait. Okay?
I had the right one.
Yes, that's the right one. I've tasted them all. I love them.
I can taste the alcohol right away.
Oh yes.
Oh,
yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yes.
And this one happens to be my favorite, the
Oh,
mango tequila. It's really, really good and tasty. Bianca, you want to taste one?
Tastes like a pound cake, kinda.
With liquor in it.
Yeah.
Okay, and then this one is the strawberry Hennessy. So it's strawberry Hennessy parfait.
Oh God.
Oh, you ain't got the strawberry Hennessy.
I like it better than the first one.
You like the strawberry Hennessy?
Yeah.
Okay, so Darnell likes the strawberry. I like them all.
I like the strawberry Hennessy too.
That's because I like tequila. That's why.
It's the third one.
It sneak up on me.
It's a sauce somewhere. What I do with that? So he also makes
Oh yeah.
fondues and sauces and all of that you can fold into ice cream and all of that type of stuff. I don't remember what this one is. So we had Hennessy, we had tequila, so this one got to be vodka.
How do we consume it?
Put it on the spoon.
We get.
Darnell,
like, okay, so
Darnell like, yes. Okay, come out. There we go.
You like it when it squirt.
Oh my gosh, she said you like it when you saw
Oh,
it.
it tastes like Jello, like liquid Jello.
And then it's a fondue that you can use for fruit and everything. So this is a fondue. If I'm not mistaken, this is the same thing that's inside of the parfaits. But keep your eye out because I will be bringing you this with prices and everything coming soon. So throughout the entire life, we will be eating these. So when we start to slur our words and stuff, that's the reason why, okay? Because we're a little fucked up. So you guys, it has been 8 years since we have been together. 8 long years. And it's hard to believe that it has been 8 years. So what we're going to do first is catch up with each other, let each other know what's been going on in our lives, and then we're going to get into the interview. So I'm going to start with Amira. What's been going on with you, honey bun?
Well, me and my significant is trying to work on our own little venture. We don't really know per se yet, but it's coming. I will say that it has a lot to do with deceased people. Um, but yeah,
No.
it's something that's going to be out later this year. But other than that, trying to get back to season 2.
Anyway, and Darnell, what's been going on with
Right.
you?
What's been going on with me? Well, I just work. That's all I do. I have 3 jobs, and I do them. I do them. But um, uh-oh.
Keep going. I don't answer that phone.
All those jobs kind of interrupt my social life. I haven't had one since before COVID. So, as y'all can tell, I'm slowly getting back out there. Starting to hang out, trying to be social, and maybe pick up some extracurricular activities outside of work. Well, I don't really have time, but yeah, that's what I've been up to.
But to say, I saw you for the first time, and God knows when last week.
Hmm.
I don't know. When was the last time I saw you before then?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
2017.
Yeah, I was about to say it's been a long. I mean, we still keep in contact, but it's been a while since we have actually seen each other in person. I know I just saw you in December, but we'll get into that later on, a little later on in the show. Um, but it's been a while. It's been a while. So let's get into this. I'm still waiting for Sabrina to tap in, and then we'll add her into the live whenever she comes in. But let's start with you, Amira. Do you remember how you became a part of the show?
So I do remember us having a conversation, and you were telling me about the project that you were doing, which was Poz Lyfe, and I was like, "Oh, I want to be a part of that." But then you was like, "You'll see what you can do," because you had to figure some things out. And then I just remember us talking about it and me trying to really, you know, be supportive as a friend. And I'm like, "You gotta put me in." So that conversation for me, it went a long way.
And I was telling them the last show that we did is actually kind of a little slow when you look at when you go back and look at the show, and I don't think anybody pays it any attention, but the very first episode, Shauna was actually supposed to be in that episode.
Mm-hmm.
What happened was the original person who played Shauna couldn't show up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Remember when we shot the first episode, the original person who played
It
Shauna
was drama.
couldn't show up. So then I hired someone else to play Shauna,
Mm-hmm.
and she never showed up.
Mm-hmm.
So Amira originally was just supposed to be an extra. So
No.
if you
Mhm.
look at the show, the very first episode,
Mm-hmm.
she's in the back. In the corner, and you can see her clear as day. So when he says something about Shauna was supposed to meet me, it looks real crazy because she's standing right there in the corner, and you can clearly see her the whole time we're
I
talking.
remember I forgot all about that.
Yep,
Oh
she
my
was
God.
standing right there, like right there, not even hiding. She was right there
And
in
then
the camera.
It's really bad because he hugged me coming in.
He does coming in the door,
Coming in the door, he hugs me.
That's really ghetto.
It's really, yeah.
and it took me some time to actually watch this show and actually see that. Like I think I watched the show
Mm-hmm.
like years later and was like, it's so stupid.
I
that
remember noticing it later.
Right. I never paid it any attention until later on when I was like, damn. So we say Shauna is supposed to meet me, but Shauna's standing
Sitting
right there. And we all just standing there like, oh, well, I don't
And
know.
all of a sudden she's showing.
Right. So Darnell, do you remember how you became a part of the show?
Kind of. I just remember coming to, I think it was Helena's house for the audition, and you basically told me right there on the spot that I was that I had it. Cause I don't remember, but I remember going home telling my boyfriend that I had it. So you must have had told me,
Mm-hmm.
and I kind of do remember the conversation. I'm a pothead, so things take a while to come back to me.
So,
That's
from my knowledge, I think the person that shall remain nameless actually auditioned for Khalil first. And I was like, no. And then when Darnell came in to audition, I was like, let's see. And this has been so, I was like, Darnell is so, like, Darnell is energetic, But Darnell's voice is so monotone that I was a little nervous. Like I was like, I don't know if Darnell gonna hit these emotions like I need him to.
He
But
hit
Darnell
them.
turned out to be. Let me tell you what sold it for me. When we filmed that first scene when the boy that shall remain nameless
on the
couch,
I remember.
and Darnell did that. What the fuck? And I was like, we've got a winner. That what the fuck is just everybody says, like, if you go in the comments for that first video, most of the comments are that what the fuck face, because Darnell's face and everything just was like, what the fuck. It was the best. It was the absolute best. And I can tell you guys, since we're still waiting for Sabrina actually became a part. I actually wrote that part for Sabrina and Helena. I actually wrote their parts for them because I could just hear them saying the words. Mm-hmm. Like I actually heard them saying everything that was said. I could hear them saying it. Like Sabrina anyway is a very nurturing person, so I could hear her in that motherly tone. So for her, that's her part, and then Helena just was funny anyway. Like everything she did, you'd be like, Helena, just shut up, because you just too much right now. Just shut up. Even I'm talking about drunken Helena and sober Helena. Just hilarious. So, those parts were actually written for them when I wrote those parts. So, do you guys think that we would reach the height of success that we did?
Honestly, for me, it wasn't about the numbers. So, in my mind, whatever we reached was set goal enough to me, because it's about family, having fun, supporting each other. So for me, it wasn't about the numbers, but I am glad that we reached what we reached, because we worked hard, especially Darnell. You know what I mean? Main focus. That's hard. So for me, it wasn't about the numbers.
For me, it was. I was very happy. I was very pleased. People knew who I was. Like, I remember going to DC one night, and this boy stopped me and was like, "Aren't you in that web series?" For the first time that happened to me, I was like, "Oh, shit, I want to do this some more." Not to make it so personal, but I didn't expect the show to become as popular as it did at the time. I was pleasantly surprised, and I benefited from it personally. A little bit of clout.
A little bit.
A little bit.
So I don't think these guys knew. I was actually approached by Warner Brothers. That's that's why I fought so hard for season 2, because Warner Brothers sent me an email and I verified. Like, you get an email from Warner Brothers, you like, that's some spam shit. No, Warner Brothers executive actually sent me an email and said, we love what you did with season 1. We want to see what you do with season 2. And then we'll pick the show up, fund it, pay everybody, and make sure that you guys go national. And I was like, oh, okay. So that's why I pushed so hard for season 2, because I never expected us to, like, I expected some type of something to happen, but I never expected us to reach those masses where a big studio would look at us and be like, oh wow, that is amazing what you guys are doing. Let's try to push it further. And that was, to me, was like a dream come true. Damn near. I mean, you work so hard on something that you don't expect such the notoriety, and it was amazing. It was actually amazing. As first time actors, what do you feel were some of the biggest challenges?
Darn, I can go first.
Well, I think for me personally, I'll try to make it quick. I think I had like a self-esteem issue at the time. I had like a self-image thing. So when I spoke, I talk low. I already got a real deep ass voice anyway, and I talk low And I can look back at it now and be like, damn, I wish I would have projected a little bit. Now I can be the loudest thing in the room, full of people. But it's just because I have a different self image. So that was a big challenge for me at the time. Just trying to speak up and just talk out. But that was just, I talk like this and I walk like this at the time, you know. So I kind of grew out of that, thank God.
I remember that. Because I used to try to push him and be like, Darnell, you gotta bring it up.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, okay. And then it just, like I said, Darnell's tone would be so flat at times. You'd be like, come on, like you got. And even when you look at season 2, I saw a difference from season 1.
Oh,
like the
yeah.
stuff that we shot from for season 2.
That boy was gone.
Darnell's tone, like you could see the difference in his tones.
That's
you can
right.
see the difference in everything that he was doing, and I was like, "That's who I need."
I hope he don't see this. I said that boy was gone.
Well,
We cool now though.
I don't know. I think I got him blocked. Go ahead, Amir.
For me, I'm a kind of piggyback a little bit because for me, my self-esteem has always been at an all-time low. So when we were filming, I critiqued everything from hair, clothes, everything, and it kind of because for women it's a little different. So when I'm on camera, I feel like I look 20 times bigger than what I actually am. So actually filming it and looking back, I still kind of low key critique, but I'm kind of getting out of it in a way. Somebody gets on me a lot about it, but my biggest challenge
I
was
used to get on you all the time.
yeah, that was definitely one of my biggest challenges, and I'm kind of getting a little emotional, but yeah, I'm trying a little bit more. I won't say that it's gone because it ain't.
It ain't because you. When I put that picture on that flyer, you was like,
"Why
you use that
one?"
one?
God, yes.
I'm like, because that's the
Yes.
picture from the show, and that's
Yes.
what we're gonna use.
I was like, okay.
But
it is okay.
But for me with you guys, it was. I started to see the growth in you guys. Like, day one, it was the most difficult thing because it was like, I think the only person who really had some experience in acting was Sabrina. Everybody else was first time. Everybody. Even though Helena did drag, it was her first time actually acting on camera. So it was a brand new thing for everybody. And me just be like, I was not the director. I was just the creator. Now, every now and then I would step in and be like, look, I need them to do this. But I pretty much gave them the lead way to take what I wrote and do what you need to do with it. It was certain points I was like, I need you to hit this point. But for the most part, make it your own. Make this character who you want it to be. Because those characters didn't have anything. I gave them the backstory, said this is what happened, make it your own. And that's what they did. They took them and they ran with them. And I was very pleased with what I saw on camera with them. Some directors, they are very meticulous about things and want you to hit every single word that they write, just how they write it, every single mark. I was not that person. I was like, look, I see what I see. I actually liked when they kind of went off script because it made it a little better. Her and Helena, that was a total, like, hilarious. Some of it was written.
Hilarious.
But all of that, excuse me, you too big to get around, honey, and all, that was them. Mm-hmm. She get on my nerves. Yeah. That was all them. They all, they did it. And they played well together. It wasn't like it was insulting or anything like that. They played well together, and off camera they was doing the same thing. Mm-hmm. So it just worked. It worked. It actually became a very family dynamic when we were working together. To the point that we was always together. I don't know when we stopped.
We were like always
together. I remember we used to go out to the bar all the time and everything. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Everything. So what did you learn from the experience?
Well, number one, I learned how to act because I had no clue what I was doing, how to do it, what to say, how to say it, with face expressions. But overall, what I learned was, it might be a little corny, but family, because we all like helped each other. So if I was feeling the way, I would go to Darnell, I would go to Tyrieak or Helena, even though we had our back and forths, but we loved each other. Trust me. But yeah, overall, family, definitely for me.
What was the question?
What did you learn from this experience?
Hmm. Hmm. I learned. I gained a lot of self love during that time. I guess I learned how to love myself a little better during that time. It's deeper than that, of course. It's deep, but basically, I learned how to love myself at that time from that experience. Of course, I learned some acting skills as well, but you know.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so Sabrina is here now. I just got
Okay.
Hey,
Hi.
Miss Amira.
hey, you.
Hey.
So we were just getting into a little bit of the questions. So I'm gonna start with the first question with you real quick, so we can bring.
Wait. Hold on. Let me see. As so while I was trying to do all this shit, why my damn Facebook app want to refresh? So, hold on. Let me. Oh shit, ain't it today? 2, 8, 9. I gotta re-enter everything. She tried it. She want to update on the last reason. Okay, go here. Okay.
Okay.
There we go.
There we go.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Hey!
Alrighty. So do you remember how you became a part of the show?
I don't.
So
I think it was a conversation that we had in Buns. Oh, she tried it today. I think it was a conversation we had in Buns. He was like, I'm putting together something. Do you want to get it?
I told them that I specifically wrote that part for you.
Yeah.
I remember writing that part, and I was like, I hear Sabrina say all of this because of the nurturing person that she was. I was like, yes, I hear her. I can hear her saying X, Y, Z, and A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I just hear it all. Like, I can hear it. And and I said the same thing about Helena. That's how both of you became a part, because I was like, I wrote these parts specifically for them. I hear them, and I can feel them, like, just saying all of this. And for those who don't know, Sabrina had a lot of comedic timing. Like, if you look at the blooper reel, and I never knew when she was gonna do it. It just so happened. She'd be like, if you look at the bloopers, we was at the house, and the whole scene where she comes in with the cake. One time she threw the cake plate at him. I was like, oh shit. she it was a whole bunch of stuff that Sabrina, or I think that is still in the show actually, where she was like, am I in the camera frame? And she looks in the camera like this and goes in. And I really think I left some of that in because it was, to me, it was just funny in a serious situation that you needed that comedic timing and everything in.
I was just being a fool.
It was fun though.
Did you think that we would reach the height of success that we reached?
No, it could have been bigger. It was on its way. And I believe a lot of things happened and it kept it from going where it should have been. Be it people and the entity that is called Poz Lyfe.
I agree.
And I feel strongly that I feel like a lot of it was people as opposed to the Poz Lyfe. It told a story. It had some great people there, but a lot of people's egos got in the way of a lot of stuff. And Yeah. Dot, 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 dot.
I agree. See, I can't ask you this question because you wasn't a first time actor. But what would you say was the biggest challenges for you being on set?
People showing up on time.
Okay.
That was the
Okay.
worst.
And you know what? To be 100, because you know I don't play that around the clock, around the ball break. But to be 100, out of everybody there, crew included, I had the busiest schedule out of everybody. And if I personally at that time could have, when I'm getting on a red eye to make sure I'm back to shoot at a certain time, and people who live across town couldn't get there on time, and I flew across the whole country to be on time, damn it, why you can't be on time? That was how I feel.
It's not true. For those who don't know, Sabrina is a celebrity hairstylist, so she does my girl Layla Hathaway hair and CeCe Peniston and just to name a few.
Why I can't be there today? So
yeah. What did you learn from this experience?
Oh, I don't know, because it was so cool. It was just a great time. It really was. I guess to cherish the moment while it's happening.
That's a good.
Because we lost a lot of people in that, and it was just fun. I didn't learn. I sat back and watched a lot. Even though I was laughing at Kiki, and I watched and laughed a lot, but I don't know.
All right, so we're caught up now. So who or what did you channel to bring your character to life? And this is a question for all three of you.
The Ratchet
okay, T. She said,
She said the Ratchet High School. Yeah,
The Ratchet High School me. I had to bring that into Shauna because that's who Shauna was, but she was also caring. You know what I mean? So, I mean,
I couldn't tell. I was moving my stuff around. What happened?
Shauna said the Ratchet High School her. That's what she channeled.
I guess mothers. The fun, like a Felicia Rashad, my mom, my aunts, cousins, and then you also had that cool auntie that's motherly at the same time. All of them.
Yeah, don't know.
I don't even really know. I just responded how I would respond to shit, I guess. That's pretty much what I did. I don't think I really channeled anything.
So we are now at the point in this show where we need to take the time to remember three individuals who were actually a part of the cast, and actually one individual who was a part of the cast and crew. So the first person that I'm going to remember is Miss Diva Ann Clark. Diva actually played Dr. Rebecca Clark in the show. And it was funny because Diva came to me and was like, I want to be in the show. And I was like, oh Lord, I don't know.
I laughed because she was funny as hell.
Right. I was like, I don't know what to do with Diva. I don't know. And she was like, I don't know, but I just want to be. I was like, okay, Diva, you could be the doctor. And Lord knows, she was the funniest doctor it was because
Listen,
with them Lego glasses on. Them Lego glasses fiddling with her head the whole.
Remember when she kept doing this?
Yeah, she kept doing this the whole scene. She just kept flicking her hair. I'm like, oh.
Shit.
And then it was like, okay, Diva, we're gonna do another take, and she did the same thing. I was like, oh Lord, Diva
couldn't help it. That was common.
Fiddling that.
She just kept doing that.
Just fiddling that hair back and forth.
I remember when the scene was supposed to be in the hospital.
Oh my God.
I was so thankful the camera was not pointed in my direction. I think the cameraman was probably like over my shoulder, pointed at her, and she came in to give her diagnosis. And I was laughing so hard, like that shit was funny.
Cause she never said it right. She every time she gave the diagnosis, it was something different. She never said the right things. I don't even remember what it was supposed to be.
Yeah, I remember. I think we just settled on something
Because she just kept saying different stuff, and I was like, okay, we just gonna go with that because that's what she could get. So that's what we gonna go with. More power to her. But Diva passed. I want to say right after we put out the first 2 episodes.
Yeah.
She passed, and it was like, wow. I was like, I'm glad that we actually got a chance to bring her in and give her something. Because she fought so hard for so many years. I mean, even at the club, she fought to be Miss Bun so hard that they gave her the honorary position. But it was like, you know, I'm glad that we gave her the opportunity to showcase her talents. And, you know, you can see her in some of the background stuff. Like when we at the club, I think I got a video of her back there dancing. And all. It is just hilarious to see Diva in that light. The second person who we have to recognize is Mr. Hoodie LeVay. Hoodie actually was one of the dancers on the bar for that very first scene, and a lot of people did not know that the opening music, Hoodie wrote and produced the opening music for the show.
Really?
Yes. He came to me and was like, Ty, listen, you know, I'll do my music thing, and I really just want to write something for the show. And I was like, well, Hoodie, whatever you do, we'll use it. And he was like, well, this is what I wrote, and you can use it for the opening track. And we used it for the opening track. And Hoodie passed last year. I want to say October or November of last year. Hoodie passed. But he was so happy and thankful. Even in like a lot of the comments and everything, you see Hoodie telling people, y'all need to watch this show. I'm in this show. I support this show and all of that. So Hoodie was very instrumental in everything that we did for Poz Lyfe. And last but not least, December we lost Helena, hologram. It's been a tough journey for everybody with that loss because Helena meant so much to the community as a whole. I've been to a lot of gay funerals and all of that, but I have never been to one as packed as hers. Hers was packed. And it was nothing but good energy. Nobody had anything negative to say. It was all good things on how she impacted a lot of people's lives. Helena was, you know, one of those people, like I said in the beginning, I never knew what she was going to say. Because Helena never knew her words.
Ever.
And if you look at the show, Helena is reading the script the entire time she's talking.
Her whole book was like...
The whole
coming out is not what was on the paper.
Was not on the paper. And she reading it, but it ain't what it is. But nobody actually picked that up. Nobody actually paid any attention that she's reading the script. Even when she's sitting at the computer typing, she has the script on the computer. Nobody ever paid. She never knew any of it. And I was like, really, Helena? But see, you faked it till you made it. She was actually like, she would look down at the words and come back up and forgot most of them. But she's saying something. I was like, okay, whatever. I was like, you got it. Bam, bam. Thank you, ma'am. But we just had to take the time to remember those 3 individuals who were very instrumental in the show.
Cheers.
Yep. Darnell wants to say something about Helena. Go ahead.
I just remember we always hanging out and had develop little friendships. In some kind of way, I don't know what happened. I got so close to him, like it was ridiculous, like on a spiritual tip. I don't know how. I used to go over there during my breakup, and I think that's how we got so tight. But when I wasn't dealing with nobody, I came back to Texas 2017. I would go see him, and I had just went over there last November. He died in December. I was over there in November, and then I was over there in October. I spent hours with her, like a whole day, a whole Saturday. We went and got food, came back, and we would talk about everything. I mean, we could be talking about men and sex, and then the next topic we talking about how much we love God. It was so deep. And so when that happened, I was just like, I was real fucked up. And I had just buried my cousin that I already don't go to funeral, so I didn't go to that. But I personally thank both of y'all because I'm sure y'all can remember. Y'all were the two that told me. You had called me and you had called me, and I actually deleted the app, Instagram, that day to make space in my phone for something. And if I had never deleted it, I would have found out about her death online. And God worked it out so that as soon as I uploaded the app, I saw those missed calls, and I called y'all before I even looked at my feed. So that was such a blessing. It was like a soft landing. It would have been just horrible. I just want to thank y'all from the bottom of my heart, because y'all don't even know. I would have been.
Oh, listen, because I'm telling you, I got the call 5 o'clock in the morning, and I was like, huh? And it was Jamita. Jamita called me. Jamita was like, I'm on my way to Helena House. I don't know what's going on. And I'm like, huh? She was like, I will call you when I get there. She called me later on and was like, she gone. I was like, huh? And to me it was just it was really crazy, because last year for me was horrible, and I know Sabrina can attest. Sabrina lost her father last year. I lost my grandmother last year, so last year was horrible. I went into a big shutdown mode where I didn't want to deal with anybody. I was cussing people out left and right. I actually quit my job because I was tired of people and just wanted to be alone. So when Helena died, Helena has been my gay parent since I was 18. I met Helena at Club Buns, where everybody met everybody at. And, it was one of those things where I sat there and was like, I don't like, and I called Jamita back. I was like, Jamita, I'm on my way. And Jamita was like, don't come. The coroner's about to take her out. I was like, Jamita, I need to see this for myself. She was like, no, don't come. She was like, don't come. Don't come. So, even Helena's biological kids, I called them and they was like, I'm over it. I was like, what happened? They was like, I don't know, but the image is just in my head. And I was like, well, I'm glad I didn't come, because I don't need that image. But, it's still a healing process for everybody. Everybody is still, very much mourning that loss. It's holiday, and Helena died right before Christmas. So, the week before. So, everybody is still trying to deal with, the loss of Helena, and it's been very impactful. It's been very impactful to a lot of people, not just her biological kids, but all her gay kids. She got about 50 million gay kids. I'm one of the originals. But her gay kids, people that she helped put in drag, people that she inspired and influenced throughout the years. It's just been one of those very hard things, and as a community, we've been trying to pull together and just be there and support each other, because, and I'm so off topic now, but last year for our community, we lost so many people to so many different things, and it just was horrible. We just was losing people left and right. So, the one thing that I always say is that we got to get ourselves back together. We got to start forgiving people for the things that they have done to us, and start, moving forward. Because even, like I told somebody, me and Helena will get into it in a minute, and I'll be like, I ain't talking to you no more. And she'd be like, son, go get mama some Pepsi. I'd be like, whatever. But, I was grateful that November I had the chance to put on a show, and she was a part of it. And we had an amazing time. She messed with everybody in that dressing room. She told Kedra, she was like, you got to walk up the steps. Kedra was like, She was like, oh, yes, you big bitch. You got to walk up the steps. I was like, oh, Lord, Helena.
Me and Helena, our shit to go back and forth. Oh, God, the Kikis. I don't give a shit what was going on. Me and that lady could cut up like nobody, because we come from way back at Fun. Me and that lady, we could cut up like nobody's business. Nobody's business. And from Poz Lyfe on, I always thought, I said, bitch, you got the best door in all of creation. Because that door slammed like nobody's business in that house.
Nobody's
Even
business.
after I threw that pillow at,
I was just thinking that, because that
Oh,
pillow
yeah.
hit that door so hard, and you could hear the smack on the door. I was like, that is amazing.
Helena such a legacy. She still is a legacy.
Mm-hmm.
She still is. Just a good person.
All right, so we're going to get into just a little bit of fun stuff, and I'm going to squash some rumors real quick. First things first, there was a rumor going around when we were doing the show that everybody in the cast was HIV positive. That is a rumor. That is false information. And even if everybody in the cast was, so what?
Does it matter?
It didn't, and that's my biggest thing, is that even like when you go back and look at some of the comments, and even recently I looked at some of the comments that were left like a couple months ago. So everybody in the cast got HIV. Nobody ever said that.
No.
Nobody ever said that.
That was the storyline, you schmuck. It's the storyline. It's not what's going on.
Right, and I wish people would just understand that, but you know, even if they don't, I really don't care. Not just that, but I do have to thank Racine Pendarvis, because Racine was one of our biggest support. Everything that Racine did when Poz Lyfe was popping, Racine was like, so y'all coming to DC? You remember when we went to Axe Racine? We went to Axe Racine, and then she did this like movie night where we went and did a showing of the episodes. Everything that we did, she was like, so y'all coming to DC? Sure, we'll come down. But she was one of the biggest supporters of Poz Lyfe. And a lot of people believed in what we were doing and the mission, because my thing was we needed to tell a different story about being HIV positive. You know, we always hear the story about somebody having sex and that's how they contracted, but you never hear about the woman who was raped and passed it to her son. So that was my thing, and that's how I wanted to convey that story. So, what were some of you guys' favorite moments on camera or off camera?
Oh, God.
For me, one of the times was our photo shoot. The photo shoot was really, really fun. And then, like, the individual interviews we had, I was so drunk. I didn't know what I was saying. I was just like, yeah, I'm going to just go with this. I would just go with this. But the photo shoot was definitely fun.
I have two moments that I can think of. We actually got one moment in the Bluebird where Sabrina was supposed to be calling me, and Diva called, like literally actually called the phone, and right when I said hello, and it was Diva, and I was like, what the hell? And I'm on camera, I'm on camera looking at the phone, and I bust out laughing, and it was Diva.
That was the funniest thing, because you can actually hear her on the phone. Hello, hello, and you're like, Darnell looking at me like, is somebody actually on?
It's Diva. I remember saying.
Oh, that was hilarious.
My second favorite moment was I think it was episode 3 where Khalil got beat up in the parking lot.
No, that was one of the last episodes.
Okay, 04 or 5 maybe. Anyway, my car at the time, that was my second Grand Marquis. I've had 4. That was my second, my Christine. And it's a scene where I pulled in.
My Christine, y'all heard that?
That was my baby. It was a scene where I pulled in and you filmed. That was Khalil's car, but it was my car. Like you filmed the car pull up. So I got pictures of the car, but I don't have no videos. And I got that clip. And it was so clean and pretty, and I missed that car. She in a junkyard now. I had 5 cars since then. Ain't that crazy?
No, y'all remember when we was filming the scene at Helena's house? And at the end of the scene, it was OMG. It was right when we was done, and then I think it was a hospital scene. But at the very end, Sabrina was like, stop fucking in my house. And
That was
threw
the
pillow
party
out.
girl.
Oh,
The
That was
party.
the party.
That's what it was.
oh yeah, I remember.
When I threw that pillow.
Yes.
And I lied to you
Yes.
that pillow was like a half an inch from hitting them in the head. Like she tossed
I
that
was
bitch.
like,
It was
oh,
boom.
shit.
I was like, oh,
Remember that.
I like it. I'm telling.
That shit was. No matter how you could cut it, you could not cut out because the camera was facing them. You
Mm-hmm.
could not cut out the laugh because no matter how you cut it, the laugh couldn't come out. That was funny. Oh, it's the scene with Naomi when you sitting at the table and she was talking and she said her line and I was like, yeah, and we're gonna have to do this over again because your earring fell flame out your ear.
I remember that. As soon as you started talking, I remember that.
It was a couple times. Like she was standing up at one point, and she said something, and the earring just dropped, and I was like, and
That was
Sabrina
that moment.
like,
That was that moment.
Sabrina like, this earring. It's just. I'm like, oh my god.
So
Like,
she just picked it up and kept talking
Yeah,
and walked to the back and started over again.
I have so many like favorite moments. Like I said, I went back and watched some of the stuff that we shot from season 2 and the stuff from season 1. And it just, like, for me, it's so, the what the fuck that Darnell did in that first episode, it was one of the sellers for me for this show, because it was like, that was the perfect cliffhanger to be like, what the fuck is he about to say? Like, for real. Like, and then it's Darnell's face. Darnell's face just dropped like, what the fuck? And I'm like, oh my god. And honestly, Darnell says what the fuck and it keeps going. It doesn't just stop with what the fuck. The scene actually keeps going. But we cut it there because it was like the perfect, like, what the fuck. It was like, what the fuck is going...
That was my natural reaction to that shit he was talking.
I know, and that was the crazy thing. I was like, Darnell was really like, Darnell would really say some shit like this. Gosh, it was so Sabrina with this cake plate, because I never knew what Sabrina was gonna say with the cake plate.
Yeah.
One time it was a granola cake.
Remember when she came in and with no cake or something?
Yeah, she was like, I got hungry on the road. I ate it. I was like, oh Lord.
I was like, she was like, I ate it. Yeah.
Like, it was just so much. Helena I never knew what Helena was gonna say. It always made me nervous because I was like, I don't know what she's gonna say, what she's gonna do. I'm scared. I'm terrified. What is she about to do now? You know what I think is the funniest though? So I had to be in that first scene because we went through like 5 Shaunas before we got a mirror.
I didn't have that many bloopers as y'all though. Did you realize that? Like, mine was just like thrown in because it was already like.
Because we had already
I
started.
remember one specific one of yours. At the harbor, you forgot your line.
And she kept sitting there like, what am I supposed to say now?
Yeah.
Oh my god, wait.
We got that on camera.
It's in the blooper reel.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I had to get changed down.
Yes, I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that is in the blooper reel. I've seen that.
I was behind the wall getting changed.
But I'm telling you, the one that I think
that.
is funny was when Hoodie was behind me and we're talking at the bar. And him and Jordan was saying something, and I was like, I really hope don't nobody nut on my back because this is just disgusting.
I remember that.
Like, they was doing all types of shit behind me, and I'm like,
he was
for real.
moving.
If I feel something, I'm gonna turn around and slap the shit out of somebody because I don't know.
It's just protein. It ain't no
I was just, I mean, we've had so much, even season 2. I looked at season 2. So, I don't think you was with us the day that we shot in the market, and we in the market.
I wasn't there.
Wait, what market?
Remember? We shot in Shoppers. Yes.
Yes.
We in the market.
This
I'm
was
like,
season 2?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Shell.
yes, she was. Remember, that's when actually Naomi came back to do she was the drag queen.
Mm-hmm.
I smoke a lot of drink.
I'm remembering as we go.
Yeah. So we shot in the market and we like sneaking because technically you're not supposed to film in public without a permit. So we walking around the market and I'm holding the camera like this, like, hurry up, y'all, hurry up. We gotta hurry up and get out of here. We gotta get out of here. Hurry up, hurry up. So we filming this little bit in the market in the aisle. Then we running outside. When we was at the park, with the other he showed remain nameless.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, talk about some shit. Hell.
Okay.
You know, that was fun too, because we was there and they was like, y'all got a film permit? They said we don't need one because we're a low budget film. Oh, okay. All right, y'all
Did the
good.
police walk up on us?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They asked us for the permit and I was like, we didn't need one because the city said that we was a low budget.
Mm-hmm.
It was like we was running from the law, I felt like. Auntie, I ain't gonna talk about them people.
I remember when we was filming season 2, me and Randy scene in the room where she did not plan to fall through the bed, but she fell through the bed and it kind of worked because of the argument that we was having.
And you pulled the thing out the
Oh,
air.
I
Yes,
remember.
yes, yes, that was funny.
Oh, she let
That
that
was
air out
funny.
the air mattress. I was like, oh,
funny.
Randy went all the way down on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
But it was so many fun things that happened during the show. You guys, this is the time that you can start asking questions in the comment section, and we will be looking and reading some of the questions. So I'm gonna ask this question: What word, one word, would you use to describe your experience? One word.
Fun. When I look back, it was fun. I like eating that stuff.
I already had 3 this morning.
One word. Oh,
I don't have one word.
It ain't that hard, y'all.
Hold on over there. I'm sorry. That's your girlfriend's
I got my stomach naughty.
Naughty?
You don't have one word, Auntie?
I don't.
I really don't
I'm
have
trying
one.
to figure one or two out. I'm trying to piece two words together to create one word. A charcuterie of fun.
Boom, I like that one. A charcuterie of fun.
You know, charcuterie board is a plethora of
Mhm.
foods.
I'm drawing a blank.
I mean, it was so many different things.
Yeah.
Like, it was so many different things.
Each moment had its own.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I would say exciting. Only because, like, the thrill of
What she
it.
say?
Exciting.
Excited. Agreed.
It was exciting.
Yeah. It was very exciting.
It was, like I said, it was so much stuff that actually went on
Interesting,
camera.
exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Ooh.
There we go.
Exciting.
It was just so much stuff that went on. You know, so much good that went on.
Yeah.
So much good. I mean, even though we did have some bad apples, you know, it was so much good that happened.
I think we
The
did.
good outweighed all the trouble.
Oh,
Yep.
yes.
I think
Oh,
we
yeah.
did pretty damn good without them at the end. In my
And
opinion.
it's not, you're not even with just us, the group,
Yeah.
the people on the outside.
Yep.
What it did to the people on, on the outside, it was great
Mm-hmm.
for them.
Yep.
Because at the end of the day, that's all that really mattered was the people on the outside.
I agree. There was so many. Like I said, I didn't think we was gonna get the notoriety that we did, because at the time there were so many web series out there, and those web series that were out there at the time, when you look back at it, they focused on sex. That's
Sex,
what it
fucking,
was.
and drama and bullshit.
That's all it was. Every website.
Still to this
And
day.
I love my people from Horizon. The Horizon was one of them. Sex, drugs, and fucking. Boy drama. Sex,
You can
drugs,
get
and
that at the bar.
fucking.
Everything
Right.
I did with them, I was lucky.
It was. I mean, it was so many. I remember your few scenes
Oh,
with
I
them.
remember you was like, sis. Yep.
I mean, every show that was out at the time, that's what it was. And I was like, I'm determined. Even the one scene that we had in season 2 where you guys are about to have sex, I was like, look, we ain't showing shit. I was like, we cutting.
Sex, drugs, and betrayal. That's what everybody was doing.
That's what they were doing. And I was like, I'm determined not to be one of those shows. I don't give. And listen, ain't nobody gotta watch the show because we ain't fucking. We ain't fucking the whole thing. We ain't doing it. I don't care. what y'all want to do, and people was mad because the way that they decided to act in the show, but that's the way you decide. Listen,
The camera only picks up what it sees.
and I didn't tell you to do it. But it was one of those things where, I was I was strict on it. I was like, no fucking nudity, none. I was mad when he had to take his shirt off. I was mad. Well, when Hoodie and them was on the bar.
You wasn't mad.
When Hoodie and them was on the bar, being knocking.
I was like, oh my god, he's really swinging his penis in my face.
Oh, that was toxic.
Oh my god, I was like, Jesus, what is happening here?
But you guys, we're about to wrap up. This has been very amazing.
Already?
This has been amazing. It's a really good show, the reunion. Unfortunately, there will not be a season 2.
I was looking forward to choking his ass out, though.
Or like a spin-off, at least.
So, in real life, I really want to choke him, but we'll have to discuss that off camera.
Another day, another time.
But, you guys...
You gotta end that at an hour? Can we go an hour and 15?
We can.
Or an hour and 17 and 15 seconds?
Okay.
But it doesn't matter.
17,
Unless
15.
they gotta be somewhere.
We'll wish you were here
I keep
because we're
looking
going to get
this
some
way
food.
because I have my friend is in front, and then I'm watching y'all on my phone.
Hi, friend.
They over here, they shouldn't tell.
Um,
They got their earbuds in and they doing some work for the night, so yeah.
So one thing I do have to say, I talked about the memorial section, but I do have to say rest in peace to Club Buns. It's a parking lot.
Now,
Yes, it is.
It's just flat land. Like
I haven't been over there.
Buns was the good thing about Buns is I would just call and be like, "Can we film this day?" Sure can. Thank you. Like I never had to do anything but call Dana and be like, "Dana, can I film?" Yep, sure can. When you need it, how long you need it for? Thank you.
So many memories in that place.
Like we were saying before, Buns was the place where everybody pretty much got their start. Like I remember being 18 and going to Buns for the very first time and was like, okay, and it just grew on me. It wasn't what people made it out to be. They always used to say, "Oh, it's just a hole in the wall." Don't know about Buns was a family.
everybody goes to holes in the wall.
Buns was Buns.
Buns,
Some of the people that they date are holes in the wall, but at the end of the day,
allegedly.
cheers.
We need a
A
legend
lot of
sign.
holidays, a lot of New Year's at Buns. I would have my night and end my night at Buns and be there till 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. I did that for years.
We used to be at Buns every Sunday.
I was there Friday and Saturday nights.
Every
Real
Sunday.
So many memories.
Every Sunday. It was just one of those places where, especially for people who didn't really have family and people who families weren't accepting of them, that was the place to be to have a family. It really was. And for our community, that's something big. And Steve Harvey said it best, and I love that quote that he said. He said, "You can go life without a real family, but your friends who you call your family, you need them." I was like, oh, that put some stuff into perspective for me. So even this cast, even though a couple of them I could choke the shit out of if I see them right now. At the time we were a strong family. We were, and had amazing times, had fun. We did our work, but then we played afterwards. That's what we did. I remember the times that we would be drinking on set, and I'd be like, "Look, okay, we getting too drunk, off task, let's go," and then we would get it back together.
And also, I want to add big kudos to his name was right there on the tip of my tongue before I started speaking.
Joseph.
His house we filmed in.
Oh, David. Yes, David. Thank you so much.
Shout out to David for allowing us to be in his space while he watched the game in the other room.
In the other room.
And that's another memory. I forgot about this too. That's another memory. In between takes that I wasn't in, I would be sitting in there on the bed watching TV with him. Or if the scene was going really long and it was going through multiple takes and angles, child, I laid across that bed and took a nap. I'm sorry, can I usually go ahead? I'm like,
yeah, but David, I gotta say that too. David was one of our biggest supporters too, because
yeah.
I just called him, was like, can we use your house? He was like, sure can, just make sure it's clean afterwards. He said, don't slam the door, and we got it, okay?
And the security downstairs, I enjoyed them too. Yeah, I keep with them
Look
alive.
at you. David's kind of cute.
What you say?
As he sucks the spoon.
As I suck the spoon.
Cheers to y'all.
I know, right? We all have a little something.
I think I'm on
Are y'all drinking too? Everybody
Yes,
drinking or just me?
we have wine over here, and then, oh, Auntie, you missed it. So, I now have partnered with someone who does alcohol-based dessert gels and all that type of stuff. So, we were tasting.
Send info.
I sure will. But we were tasting parfaits tonight. This one is the strawberry
parfait?
Hennessy.
You're
And
eating
then,
an alcoholic parfait?
mm-hmm. It's so good. It is so good.
I'm so sorry y'all couldn't be there. I really wanted to hang out with y'all, all of y'all, and just hug y'all, high five and everything.
I know we were saying we hadn't. I ran into you last year at the drinkery.
Yeah.
Last week was the first time I saw Darnell in God knows how
I
long.
saw her last week too.
Oh, you saw?
At the
See?
drinking.
I
This-
saw
this is
him,
the
and then I
first
saw
time
him probably
I've
about
seen
a month before that.
Yeah.
Which I said,
I was out.
is that Darnell?
Mhm.
They was like, yeah, that's him. I saw him out there.
Yeah.
So,
And then I saw Amira. Amira came to Helena's memorial show at Ziasco's, which I'll never go back to.
I didn't know anything about that show.
Well, that's another
You
subject.
know what? I'm sorry. I lied. I just lied. I did. I couldn't make it.
That's another subject we'll talk about off camera.
Oh, happy day.
The white girl did it. Anyway.
Oh, happy
Uh, but you guys, we have some very interesting shows coming up. I have spoken to my boy Havoc from TikTok, and he will be stopping past to do an interview. So, you know, we getting TikTok stars and everything. And that show will be called The Voice, because his voice will make you melt. Oh, I can't wait. Oh.
Wait, run that back again. Maybe I'm hearing stuff. Let's say that again.
The boy Havoc from Twitter on
Mhm.
TikTok. He coming. Maybe in more ways than one.
Yeah, cool.
My virgin.
And then I'm going to do a special show, you guys, because I feel like it is time to do something to talk about this subject. So I'm going to talk about being gay and molested in church.
Wait, what?
How did you open that can?
I'm taking that
Really?
convo.
So and I'm gonna give you guys just a little snippet of why I'm gonna talk about it. So, my cousin recently passed, who was the pastor of the first church that I went to. I love her dearly, but she's gone now. But her godson, who is now the pastor, molested all of us at the church.
Wait a minute.
Myself,
Wait a
her
minute.
grandchildren, and all.
Wait a minute.
So I think it's time to speak about that subject and speak some truths, because, you know, first of all, I'm grown now. I'm 31 years old, and it's time that I now speak the truth about what happened to me, and hopefully, you know, it will shed some light on some things. That's all I can say right now. But, you know, it will be one of those topics and subjects that will definitely make some heads roll and all of that. So that will be coming up. Also, we'll have Katie on the show. She's coming back, and Jamita said she wants another co-host spot. So we're gonna get Jamita up here and probably Tink. So that'll be a show that I don't know if I'm ready for it yet. But we're working so hard to bring this show to you guys in new format, new forms. You know, we've upgraded the set. You know, we're no longer sitting on the big comfy couch where everybody can't fit. We are doing it bigger and better lighting, you know, everything. So, you know, we are doing the shit. So make sure you guys support. Make sure you guys look out for everything that we're doing. Make sure you follow us on YouTube. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, on Facebook. You guys want to give your Instagrams?
My Instagram is queen with 2 3s 30 underscore. Again, that's queen with 2 3s 30 underscore.
Sabrina, you want to give your Instagram?
I am the makeup one, DAMAKEUP, and the number 1 on Instagram.
My Instagram is LibraScale88. Real simple, LibraScale88. Also, I design cars. I have an Instagram page, What If Car Design. Anybody that like cars or obviously people follow me on too.
Yes. And y'all know mine, you know, it's the same everywhere. TYRIEAK. That's everywhere. You can follow me everywhere. Don't follow my Twitter though. But follow everything else.
Get it.
But you guys, it has been amazing. We'd like to thank you guys for tuning in tonight to the Poz Lyfe reunion. This is the start of my 12-year anniversary week. I ain't doing nothing. I might go out next week just to celebrate my company's 12-year anniversary. But you guys, we would like to thank you so much for tuning in tonight, and we'll see you real soon. All right?
See y'all later. Happy Mother's Day, everyone.
Happy Mother's Day, everybody. All right.
Good seeing everybody. Love y'all.
Love you too.